For the win! Yes! Yes! Oh! Unbelievable!
What's going on, everybody? This is Sharpsiders. I'm Jay Daniels. I got Eddie Wayne with me. Today we're bringing you the Final Four. We're going to break down Michigan State Duke. We're going to break it down. We're going to tell you some stats. We're going to tell you some trends so you guys can have some information when you're making your bets. So, Eddie, what do you want to talk about first? Give us some info, man.
Yeah, looking at this Michigan State Duke game, one that I did not expect to see. I didn't think Michigan State would get this far. I know some people did. Actually have one of the people I'm in a bracket group with has Michigan State winning it all. So some people think that they're going a little further than others, and apparently they're looking pretty good right now. I didn't think Michigan State would make it to the Final Four, but here they are.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the lines have been pretty steady. You know, came out around 5, and I haven't seen it move that much. You know, maybe up and down half a point, but it's been pretty steady. Right now, 70% of the public money is on Duke for spread and money line. I haven't seen any really big plays yet coming in. It's been pretty steady.
Yeah, I think even if you check the action early on in the week, it's still a good indicator of how it's going to be throughout the week. So I think it'll still be around 70%, maybe that 65-70% range around game time when this tips off. But I do think that just because there's a little bit more money from the public coming in on Duke doesn't mean that it may not be the right side here.
Right.
You have to look at Michigan State is a 7 seed. And they are a 7 seed for a reason. That is, an indication on how they play all season long. I think Duke right now is definitely the better team. They're playing way better right now than I think pretty much any team in this tournament.
Oh yeah, and I mean if you look at this Michigan State team, they kind of struggled down low a little bit with Harrell in Louisville. He was playing a really good game. He got into some foul trouble, and Michigan State was able to hold on. But I think that shows what kind of night they're going to have when they have Jahlil Okafur down there. He's the best big man in the league in NCAA right now. So they're going to have their hands full with him. And Duke's guards are much better than Louisville's guards, so they're going to be able to handle the pressure. And I think this is going to be a big win for Duke and to make it to the national championship.
Yeah, and I think Duke's guards are a little more experienced than Louisville's are. I also think that Michigan State, they do have, two big guys that they play. They both get in foul trouble pretty easily. Past 2 games, they've been in some foul trouble where, Izzo's had to go and basically play both big men as one, just kind of substituting them in and out at the end of the games because they're both in foul trouble. But when you look at Duke, they're a young team. And of course, in the beginning of the year, they're going to start out a little iffy. But the way that this team's playing right now, a lot of the times what happens when you have these highly touted freshmen is towards the end of the season, they play a lot better. We saw it with Kentucky last year. They made it all the way to the NCAA championship last year, whereas in the beginning of the year, some people were wondering if this team was even going to make the tournament. And look at how they did.
Absolutely. Well, I got something right here from oddshark.com where they're talking about the power rankings between the two teams, and they got Duke ranked at 10 and Michigan State at 127. So that just shows you how strong of a team these Blue Devils are. And looking back on the head-to-head matchup between Michigan State and Duke owns a 6-1 straight up record. Covering the spread, like I said, it's only a 3-1 against the spread head-to-head, but this should be an easy win for Duke. They're going to roll right through them.
Yeah, I think they'll probably get past this game. I mean, the 5 is a little bit of a number. It can go either way, but we saw it went in their favor against Utah. Vegas Sportsbook, I'm sure, loved that fact.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you look back on November 18th when Duke played Michigan State earlier this season, they were marked at a 8.5-point favorite, and they wound up covering that with a 10-point win. So now this is only a 5-point favorite, and I know that it's a rematch. You get a little bit of revenge, and and it's a big setting, with that Final Four game. But I think with this 5-point spread, I think Duke should be able to cover that. You get down to a close game, if it's close the whole time and Duke's in the lead, those fouls, like we saw in that last game where millions of dollars changed hands in Vegas. That spread could be covered easily with free throws at the end of the game.
In the last 29 years, only two championship games, have had any team worse than a 6 seed involved. We know that Michigan State is a 7 seed. So I think that's definitely something you want to look at. It doesn't happen too often. Last year was, a big exception were the two. I think there were 7 and 8 seeds that made it to the championship game. And if you look at the past 25 out of the last 26 years, the champion has been, a better seed better than a 6 seed. Last year was the only exception when a team worse than a 6 seed has won the national championship.
All right. Well, that's going to conclude it for this episode. Next episode, we're going to talk about the Kentucky-Wisconsin game. If you guys like to follow us on Twitter, I'll post the links to our Twitter right down below, Jay Daniels and Eddie Wayne. We post a lot of things daily. We'll post free pics, we'll post some stats, we'll post some information. If you want to contact us, you can tweet at us, you can send us direct messages. We like to interact with all our followers. If you'd like to purchase any of our picks, you can email us at sharpsiders@yahoo.com. Again, I'll put the link right down below me. We like to charge, $10 to $20 for our picks. We like to keep it reasonable. You guys are spending a lot of money making bets, and we don't want you to spend too much money on making the picks. You got to make a profit. So if you're spending too much money on just for the pick, you're not going to make profits, even if you win 70% of the time. But that's going to conclude it for this episode. And until next time, happy betting, guys.
For the win!